Welcome into the local and community issues and answers right here with Jonathan Lawson. Special guest today from the Blood Center, Martha Osborne and Peggy Aiken. So glad to have you in the studio with us.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Welcome in. Tell us now about the Blood Center. How long you all been involved with the Blood Center?
Well, I've been at the Blood Center almost 25 years.
Okay.
And Peggy?
I've been here around 7 years now.
7 years?
Working in this territory, yes.
Now, I know at this time of year there is a high call for blood donors. Now, tell me, what are some of the things involved in giving blood?
Well, you know, it's a pretty simple process. The whole process will take you about an hour.
Okay.
But you'll show up and register, and we put you into our computer system, and then you go through a little mini physical where you have to answer all the health history questions, and then you get your blood pressure, temperature, pulse check. We make sure you're going to be healthy enough to donate,
Right.
and that it's going to be safe for a patient to receive. And we do a finger stick at that time.
Okay.
And I like to say, a lot of people say that's the worst part is the finger stick, but that's to check your hemoglobin level or your
Okay.
iron level. Make sure you're not anemic.
Okay.
So it's a good little health check. Once you go through that, then if you're approved, you get to lie down in a comfortable bed, and we perform the phlebotomy, it's called.
Okay.
So it's a quick needle stick, and I like to tell people, if you don't know what it feels like and you're worried about it and you don't like needles and that sort of thing, if you'll just hold out your elbow and give yourself a hard pinch,
Right.
that's about what it'll feel like.
Okay.
If you can stand that, well, you can save up to 3 lives. So there's not much else you can do that will, be that impactful.
Exactly, and you know, there might be a lot of people watching today or listening by the way of radio. Express the importance of people donating blood, giving blood.
Well, especially this time of year, we need blood always. But this time of year, people get busy doing their own holiday things, and maybe they forget to donate regularly like they usually do. But also this time of year, you have people that's traveling on the road and there's accidents, and we just need to make sure that we have that blood available. And we really need 400 to 500 donors each day just to make sure our inventory is at safe levels to be able to have that blood available for our hospitals and clinics.
And Jonathan, just to bring that home, just this week, one patient in our service area on one day used over 50 pints of blood.
Oh my goodness.
Now, our average blood drive is about 26 pints of blood that we collect. So
Right.
it took literally 2 organized blood drives to take care of this person for that one day.
Now, how does this work? I mean, somebody donates blood now. Do you just distribute it to area hospitals, or how does that work?
That's a great question. Kentucky Blood Center is headquartered in Lexington. We serve 70 hospitals in 60 counties. So we cover the whole eastern half of the state. So blood is collected in all of those counties, and we bring it back to Lexington to put it through our lab and all of the testing. There's about 14 different tests that are performed on every single unit of blood.
Right.
We process it and separate it into its component parts. So when you donate whole blood, we're going to separate it into platelets, red cells, and plasma,
Right.
so that it can help more than just one person.
Oh, that's so
every
good.
donation. So once it's separated, then we send it back out to the hospitals that need it, and wherever it's needed. And you can imagine serving that many hospitals.
yeah.
There's got to be a good volume of blood at any hospital at any given time, because it's got to be there when you need it.
Right.
You don't want to have to call Lexington,
Right.
when you need blood. It
Exactly.
needs to be in the hospital. So that's our goal. That's why we exist, is to work with volunteer blood donors to collect blood, to provide it to hospitals and the patients that need it.
And you know, a lot of people don't realize if the blood gets in a critical stage, you need blood donors quickly. You don't want it to drop down to a certain level.
That's another great point. We work on really 14 weeks out, believe it or not. We try to schedule all of our blood drives well in advance. Then we estimate what we believe we'll be able to collect at each of those blood drives, and we then take that information and forecast what we think our inventory will be. So we have to stay several days ahead of any emergency, and we try our best never to get into an emergency. And knock on wood, we haven't had a true emergency appeal in about 3 years.
Oh, that's very good. And you know, there's different blood types. Is there one blood type that's more needed than the other?
Actually, we need all blood types, but in our area, O positive and O negative blood is the type that we definitely need to make sure that we keep plenty of that on hand, because that's what we use the most of in the area. But all blood types are important.
O negative is important because it's, you've heard people mention the universal donor.
Yeah.
O negative is that donor. If that blood type can go to any person, but they can only receive O negative. But but anyone can take O negative blood in an emergency, and in an emergency, in trauma, when there's not necessarily time to type and cross match the patient. O negative will be what is transfused. So even though the population has about 7% O negative donors, far more than that is transfused because of emergency situations.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the myths that people might have in their mind.